Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The King and the Clown, a Korean historical drama film from 2005. Now, I've been wanting to review this movie for ages, probably since I started this channel, but its availability had fallen off the face of the earth over the past, 15 years. Now, thankfully, it recently popped up on streaming, so I need to give it some love. So this is set in the late 15th century, during the reign of King Yeonsan. And we have two male street clowns and tightrope walkers are part of an entertainer troupe, with the effeminate and beautiful young man specializing in female roles. In response to their manager prostituting them to customers, they kill the man in self-defense. After that, the pair flee to Seoul, where they form a new group with three other street performers, and together the group comes up with a skit mocking some members of the royal court, including the king and his prostitute-turned-concubine. And they make a lot of money from this performance, and they are also eventually arrested for treason and flogged severely. In an act of desperation, they make a deal with one of the king's consultants: make the king laugh at their skit or face execution. So it's a pretty interesting premise here, and the film begins with some paintings and text describing writings that were retrieved from kings of the past in real life. And the story is apparently based on some of those writings, with the centerpiece being one particularly tyrannical king. Now, based on the plot synopsis, you're probably wondering if these street performers intentionally chose this controversial subject matter for their skits, and in fact, they did. For the primary purpose of making some money. Because, these guys are poor. And, if you can make your bag, sometimes you go through extreme measures. And that trend continues in 2025 across the world. But it was a risky proposition for them, probably riskier than they assumed, so they're in trouble. Now, I only saw this movie one time, way back in the day, and I forgot some of the details. And while rewatching this, the story progression during the middle act is actually pretty surprising. The king has this erratic personality, and that creates tension. And the storyline provides this constant aura of danger, where even a minor mistake by our protagonist could end in disaster. You know what I mean? And this is a very well-written film with some legit good character interaction in it. And the premise sells it very well. Now, the troupe performances themselves are frequently intelligent enough to force the viewer to figure out exactly who and what they are referring to. Because there's sometimes where they have a performance, and they're portraying something, and you're like, uh-oh, they're talking about someone, and you don't know who it is until they eventually reveal who it is. And that leads to, the most interesting aspect of this, is that comedy, through satire, is used as an act of criticism. And even more intriguing is how certain characters in the movie wield this satirical condemnation as a weapon against their enemies. And all of this kind of provides the basis for a very kind of dynamic and entertaining film. Performances are very good. Kim Woo-sung was in some really cool movies back in the mid-2000s. This one, Marriage is a Crazy Thing, Our Point, and Spider Forest are all memorable in their own ways. Spider Forest is still one of my favorite Korean horror movies ever. We need a Blu-ray release for that. But, and this movie. This guy, Kam, does more television work nowadays, but I wish he would go back to do some theatrical stuff as well, because I really like him. Production values in this film are good enough. This is not an opulent production like a Zhang Yimou film. It's more reasonable in its architecture, set designs, and clothing, which I guess makes it feel more realistic. But all in all, The King and the Clown is a very good movie. I would say if you're at all interested in Korean cinema from the 2000s, you should definitely check it out. I strongly recommend it. And it's currently available streaming on Daily Motion with subtitles. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.